right, here goes nothing. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm loving this. So welcome back. In today's episode, we are hopefully coming to the end of my struggle over the years to figure out how to strip this commercial industrial type paint off of all my metalworking projects that I do. So to share a little bit of information with y'all, I build fire pits, fire rings, custom cookers, and other stuff on the sides. And I buy decommissioned propane tanks. The problem is they have some of the heaviest duty paint on them I've ever seen, and a huge part of my time-consuming process of constructing a fire pit or fire rings and all is simply just removing this paint. In the past, the only way I've found to remove it is to burn it completely off, which takes a day when you're talking fire up, heating, and then cool down times, plus it uses up all my valuable firewood and everything else. And I don't want to lose a day of production. We've tried sandblasting, but the small sandblasters that I use and for the size air compressors that I have, they just don't put a dent in this paint. I would have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on an industrial setup that can really handle the blasting media that I need to remove multiple layers of commercial paint. So one of the last episodes, I had a almost identical tank to this, and we used a sandblaster and a wet blaster. So if you're not familiar with a wet blaster, you take a pressure cleaner right here, a pressure washer, and then there's typically some sort of hose attachment that goes to a blasting media, and it sucks it up, and then you use the water to high pressure shoot it out, and when the media hits the paint, it chips it away. My last system was your typical standard home residential pressure washer and a completely different wet blasting media tip than this. Let's just say the results were not satisfactory at all. It took forever, wouldn't hardly pull the media up, and I figured out why. Y'all, it's all about gallons per minute. Everybody focuses on PSI with pressure washers. Forget that number. Anything 3,000 PSI and up is already crazy high. Actually, I don't even like the pressure of this, and I wish it was less because I'm gonna use this for cleaning concrete, and I think 3,000 is better. What you're ultimately looking for is gallons per minute. This is the amount of flow of water that we can blast through here, and that's ultimately what provides the suction at the end of this tube here that we put down in our blasting media. So the higher the flow rate, the more suction that we can put on this hose, the better you can pull the media out, the quicker you can work your job down. So I also bought a new blasting nozzle right here. You can see it's got a ceramic nozzle on the inside, very difficult to see. Really large hole, really large extra long tube, so I can work way away from where my blasting media is. And I'm quite confident now that I have the GPM that I need that I can run a more professional style nozzle. Very affordable, by the way. I'll put a link in the description to this. And it should be able to pull up this coal slag, a heavy, thick blasting media. I don't want to pull up the light little sand stuff because it doesn't blast as well. So what happens is you shove this hollow tube down into your blasting media. It pulls air in up here to flow in behind the media that's been being pulled up through the main tube, goes all the way around and out the nozzle along with the air that's rushing by, basically creating a Venturi effect. So you're creating a low pressure down here because of the high pressure going across the top there, thus you get your vacuum. Now this all sounds good in theory. I have just invested quite a bit of money in this, although a lot more affordable than what I was thinking I was gonna have to. I have no idea if it works. I've saved that for you. So let's fire this up and let's see if we can blast multiple layers. There's typically 3 on here and heavy duty primer off of this tank. I forgot to mention this tube needs to be up on the top side of the handle. You don't want it going down low like this and potentially getting water in there because it's just gonna clog up when your dry media comes flying up. So I'm just gonna duct tape the hose to the wand in a couple of places. That's an important step. I should also mention it's very windy today, so I expect water to blow over this direction. I'm gonna put a lid on here. We wanna keep our blasting media really nice and dry. All right, here goes nothing. There we go. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm loving this. Look at that. Let's go over here to this paint. Watch this. Paint right off. That's just regular old cheap paint. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness, finally I have figured something out that works beautiful. That is amazingly quick. So no doubt the GPM is what matters. We're sucking up media like crazy. Look at that. Multiple layers of paint gone in literally a few seconds. This is just like literally this is like 100 times faster than what my other pressure washer was doing. And there was regular paint right here. Oh my goodness, just a couple of seconds I can blast that right off. Oh yes. Finally, I got it figured out. If you got some heavy duty stripping to do, get you one of them $100 nozzles, very affordable, and get you a pressure washer with at least 4 gallons a minute to pick the media up. Game on, baby. Now what we'll do in the future is try different types of media, from coarse sand, silica sand, pool sand, play sand, all that stuff. I'll try to find the cheapest media I can that's effective on that paint, because it's all about my bottom dollar here. As cheap and as quick as I can build these, the more money I make at the end of the day. Y'all don't have a clue how happy this makes me. So with just a few minutes of my time, I've got this almost completely stripped. The last little bit of stuff I go over with a wire wheel anyways, but a wire wheel will not take this paint off, y'all. I have tried it. This is awesome. If you have any sort of blasting to do, paint cleanup to do, like I said, from wood to metal, this is the way to go if you're willing to invest a little bit of money, especially since you can dial the pressure, you can buy different types of blasting media. You don't have to be as aggressive as I'm being right here. Oh, this is a problem that's plagued me for years. Now this gets me a little more excited to start building more of this stuff. Here's some extremely heavy rust and pitting. I mean, look at that stuff. Really heavy rust. Let me show you how quick and easy it is to take that off. Maybe you're looking for heavy rust treatment like that. All right, so take a look at this. Heavy rust, heavy pitting. That's where this tank has sat on the ground for years. And a couple quick passes. You can't help some of the pitting that's done ate into the tank, but look how you can bust all that flaky, nasty rust off and get it down to something usable. And then you could paint that, you could Bondo it and fill it in, depending on what type of project you have. Obviously not for cookers. You can bake oil onto it, which looks really good, or you can just let it naturally rust. Now, speaking of rust, some people are going to fight me on this. They're going to say, well, this is all fine and dandy that you have this machine, but you're going to get what's called flash rust. Anytime you use a wet blasting on something like this, you get an instant fine film of rust very quickly after the fact. That is very true. You can actually already see it. You see the odd discoloration coming on here? The light rust, that's what all this color is. And you come back out here once this dries in just a few minutes and there is a haze of very fine rust all over it. For me and what I do, that is absolutely no problem. I let these rust naturally anyways because they look really good when they have a dark, rusty patina. It's just the look I go for, and it's almost impossible to have these hold up with spray paint, even high temp paint. These can get glowing red when you have a big fire in them. So the last thing, let's take a quick peek at how much media we did use. I thought I was just going to blow through this media having a high-powered pressure washer. All right, we did get way down there, so I misspoke earlier when I said one bucket would do 2 sides. It looks like it would take about 1.5 bags of that media to do that side and that side. That should give you a general idea. All right, y'all, thus far, this seems like a beast. I'm excited to get me a big surface cleaner, see how quick we can clean 1,300 square foot of porches with this. This thing's got a killer deal right now, I think through the end of October. I have no affiliation with them, paid full price. And y'all, this wet blaster is so much more robust than that other cheap one I bought. And it's only $99, or at least it was when I picked it up. Well worth the money. I'll put an Amazon link down in the description if you want to go check that out. And maybe if you have a big enough pressure washer, you can hook it up too. All right, y'all, thanks for watching. Hopefully you just learned a way to tackle your next rusty or Bondo filled or paint covered project. This works perfect without having to invest in a huge air compressor and a sandblaster. Catch you on the next one.